Good afternoon. Well, I hope you're enjoying this afternoon's lunch, sponsored by the French Lick Resort, who's also our host for the 2018 Boomers and Groups Conference. We're excited to be partnering with the French Lick Resort as they will be hosting the Group Travel Family Conferences for the next 3 years. Three different ones, not just the Boomers, 3 different ones. The resort is absolutely fabulous. It's a member of the Preferred Hotels and Resorts, along with being listed in the National Register of Historical Places. With almost every type of activity available, the French Lick Resort can keep you and your group as busy or as relaxed as you want. You know, we talk a lot about this industry, about relationships. I'd like to talk to you a little bit about mine with the French Lick Resort and Joe Vizzoso, who's here today as the Vice President of Operations. Don't want to give you that promotion yet, Joe. Vice President of Operations. I've been to the resort and visited it there and been friends with Joe since I started back in the industry about 15 years ago. And that's what we talk about in business, about these relationships, about knowing and trusting each other. And I know Joe, along with the French Lick Resort, has jumped in and hosted because they understand your business and group travel is important to them. I am confident that with Joe and myself working together, that you will be truly enjoyed next year's experience at the Boomers Conference. So would you please help me welcome my good friend, Joe Vizzoso, Vice President of Operations for the French Lick Resort.
Good afternoon. You know, it's nice of Joe to promote me. If you'd call my boss, Joe, and remind him that you did that, so that on my next paycheck that might be reflected, I would greatly appreciate that. You know, Joe's correct. We have been friends for 15 years and have enjoyed our relationship. And at some other properties that I ran, we've hosted some of these events in southern Indiana, in Vanderbilt County. So it goes back a long way. It's always fun being with you folks. It's always a good time. Last evening, we had a great time. Some of us stayed out too late, including some of the people from Indiana. They weren't active this morning like they should have been, but they're coming along pretty good. So those of you that had appointments with Sarah Clark this morning, if she was a little off key, we apologize, but she had a great time last night. So it's always fun to be here, and I know that we're all wanting to get out of here and go home, so I'm not going to talk very long, but I do want you to know that our historic resort dates back to 1845. When we did the restoration project from the family that currently owns our property, the Cook family out of Bloomington, Indiana, it was a $650 million restoration to the 2 hotels. It was the largest historic restoration project of the century at the time that it was going on. The 2 hotels are truly unbelievable, and not because we work there, but because they truly are saves of the century. Had it not been for the family stepping in, the 2 hotels today would not be there. The communities that our hotels are located in are very, very small towns. The 2 towns kind of butt together. It's French Lick and West Baden, Indiana. And so we're very proud. The reason the Cook family made the investment in the area is for economic development and to provide jobs and economic ability for the communities for the next 100 years. So it's a dedication of love on behalf of the family, but more especially for the 1,700 associates that work at the resort. For those that live in the communities, it's a save that has brought jobs and opportunities back to a community that were losing all their kids going elsewhere to go to work. So we're very proud. We have folks here from Indiana, so if the Indiana table would stand, I would appreciate it if you all would stand. We've actually adopted the young man that's at the table. He and his father have a winery out in California. This is his first conference, and so he just kind of became friends, and so he became an Indianian for a day, I guess. We'll see what happens. But again, it's a great pleasure to be here. I have a short video, but before we get there, I just want you to know that the resort has an extensive array of amenities, anywhere from golf to horseback riding, to foot golf, to spas, to bowling, to arcades, to just about anything that you want to do, and 2 aquatic centers. While you're at the resort, we have on-site transportation our own. So you jump on one of our shuttles, you can go anywhere in our resort. You can actually ride our historic trolley that dates back to, I think about 1919, I believe, when the trolley actually came to the resort the first time. So we're anxious to have you. We know that you will enjoy it. Some people have asked about where do you fly into. Our recommendation is that you use the Louisville Airport, and I pronounce Louisville correctly. It's not Louisville, it's Louisville, so it's Louisville. So we recommend you fly into Louisville. We will have motor coach transportation from the airport, so we're going to take care of you from the time that you get to Louisville or at the resort until you actually depart the area. So we're a true hospitality company, and Joe can tell you and Charlie can tell you there's not very many resorts that host these events. They're mainly hosted by communities or states, but we felt the obligation. I do want to recognize Crystal Painter, who is with Visit French Lick West Baden. They're one of our major partners in this effort, and also the Indiana Department of Tourism Development. So those are 2 of our partners to help put this together. So we're anxiously awaiting you all to come to French Lick, Indiana. It's a great time of the year to be there. It'll be the fall season. There'll be a lot of color changing in the trees, so you will certainly enjoy it. We have a very short video that Steve Rondinero, who is with our marketing department, did for me. And so without anything else, let's go to the video, and then God bless each and every one of you. All of you travel safe going home, and we'll see you in about 365 days in French Lick, Indiana. Thank you very much, Joe. We appreciate it. Before I get off the stage, the centerpieces are actually a little sweet treat for you to take with you. You pull the pom-poms out and take the tube and the pom-pom with you. Also, there is a small gift on the table, a little book, and some information on the resort. So, again, we'll see you next year. Thank you very much.
Hi, Steve Rondinero with French Lick Resort, and we are looking forward to hosting you here. We talk about Hoosier hospitality here in Indiana, but there really is something to it.
Time. They say it flies. But in rare places, it can stand still. Like at French Lick Resort, where 2 grand hotels seem to whisper tales of splendor. Where relaxation reigns, romance is rekindled. Here, the past makes your perfect present. Start relaxing at visitindiana.com/historic.
Honest to goodness, genuine visitor experience is what we're all about across Indiana, including our little piece of paradise here in the beautiful rolling hills of southern Indiana, the Springs Valley.
Larry Bird's hometown sure has changed. These days, you can dine amidst the NBA Legends trophies in a charming downtown French Lick, filled with shops, restaurants, a winery, and a fascinating museum. After that, get out and take in all our beautiful area has to offer. Make some special family memories. And be sure to see the local wildlife.
Go to visitfrenchlickwestbaden.com and start planning your visit now.
Venture out a little further and you're exploring caves, monasteries, Amish country, or a homespun theme park. Our Orange County Convention and Visitors Bureau is ready to assist. Their website, visitfrenchlickwestbaden.com, is loaded with useful information on all the area has to offer. At the heart of it all is French Lick Resort, with its 2 grand historic hotels and many amenities on more than 3,000 wooded rolling acres.
Ah, you've arrived at French Lick Resort. For more than 160 years, the splendor of 2 grand hotels has drawn people here, to where past and present meet. A place where lifelong memories are made that span generations. In southern Indiana's wooded rolling hills, French Lick Resort, where your story shapes our history.
With a legacy dating back to 1845, we truly are a unique destination with a fascinating history. The resort website, FrenchLick.com, can familiarize you with all that we have to offer before you ever step foot on our grounds. with spas, stables, a casino, fine dining, legendary golf, a sporting clay range, indoor and outdoor pools, hiking, biking, historic tours, and sprawling verandas with old-time rocking chairs. Well, you can be as busy or as laid back as you want to be at French Lick Resort. Our staff stands ready to make your time here truly memorable. Your visit is important to us. We look forward to welcoming you and thank you for choosing French Lick Resort.
Well, thank you, Joe, for giving us a little taste of what we're going to experience next year. You will not be disappointed. It's going to be something that you've never done before. Most of you, and maybe one or two, have visited, but it's a true resort, and they take care of you once you step on property. So thanks again to Joe and the French Lick Resort. Can we give them another round of applause, please?